What it do, man? It's your boy 100, man. And you can tell by the thumbnail, you can tell by the title that this is a video for Kevin Samuels, man. Since I first started this channel, I've been doing a lot of Kevin Samuels content because I like the content. I enjoyed the conversations, you know what I'm saying, he was starting and having, and I like the kind of shift I saw on YouTube of more men kind of speaking up, more men kind of being comfortable being men without having that fear of being canceled. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just Kevin Samuels, it was a collective of men that started to just say what was really on their mind and say how men really felt, you know, with no fear, with no apology letters coming afterwards, no fear of the backlash, you know what I'm saying? You know, his death was I would say untimely, but as he said in his own words, that he didn't have a bucket list. He lived a full life. He did leave behind like hundreds of hours of content for you to go back and watch. Like he was broadcasting 5 days a week, 2 and 3 hours long at one point. You know, sometimes some weeks it'll be a little slower, but he was putting out a crazy amount of content. So if you missed anything, you know, while he was broadcasting and while he was alive, you can in his death, you can go back and re-tap in and really see the full message on what he was saying. You know, a lot of people said that he hates black women and he all he does is make money off of berating and talking down on black women. And you know, for those people, for the people that actually watch this show like me, we can tell that you don't watch. We can tell that you don't watch because if you did watch, you would clearly see that this man cared a great deal about black women, or else he wouldn't be talking to them every night. To put energy into something every single day, you have to care about that. There are way more conversations with him and women that went cordial than these viral clips. Those clips are just that, viral clips. They're supposed to create a sensation in you. It's a dramatization of what's actually going on the channel. On the channel, there are many women that call in and agree. Many women that call in and back up his points. Many women call in and say that he changed their life, changed their marriage. A lot of men thank him for their marriage and their new perspectives. And you know, for me, when I first discovered Kevin Samuels, it was kind of like I was in a weird place in life where I kind of felt these things, but I didn't see anybody saying it. So it's not like people worship Kevin Samuels. It's that a lot of people already felt this way, but they didn't see anybody saying it. Kind of similar to how when Kid Cudi came out, it was like, oh yeah, all these rappers is cool and all that, but I don't really feel that way. All the braggadocious raps and I got money and I do this and I, you know what I'm saying, smash a girl and all of that was cool, but I didn't feel that way. Kid Cudi came out and I was like, okay, I feel that way. I feel like that. You know, and it's the same with Kevin Samuels. Like I watched one of his videos and it was like, I feel like this. This is how I feel. This is how I've been feeling and how I've been trying to move in this world. But this world is not welcoming to that kind of mindset, especially with social media. As a guy, you're going to follow a bunch of women on social media, and then now all your information is coming from women. So it's like you feel weird for feeling like a man, but you are a man. You have man feelings. You don't feel like how a woman feels. I don't feel how a woman feels, but that's all I'm seeing every day. So it's like I feel there just was a disconnect somewhere. And to see an older man, a seasoned man, you know, talk about his experiences in life, and you know, he was being hard on men and women. He started off being hard on men first, you know, and some people just need that. Some people just need a stern talking to, not somebody to hold their hands or save them out of a tough spot all the time. Sometimes you just got to go through that tough part of life, learn from it, stand up on your own feet. So what I really think Kevin Samuels did for a lot of men is really solidify the feelings they already had, really authenticate the male experience so we don't feel like we're alone. Because as men get older and older, we spend less and less time with our homeboys, less and less time with your brothers, cousins. It's more just women and kids as you get older. So to see that was a good thing, man. So to end this long-winded intro, these are just some of my favorite clips from Kevin Samuels over the years. Some of the things that resonated with me and also resonated with the community, you know, just looking at the numbers. So these are some of the best clips and the best conversations, in my personal opinion, that I saw from Kevin Samuels?
Um, I just want to actually say thank you.
And that's why I appreciate you, because I'm like, this is what I need to hear, you know. I'm happy. I'm enjoying it.
Well, I really just wanted to thank you because I've been listening to you for a while, and I feel like I really learned a lot about a man's perspective that I really didn't understand before.
So I just wanted to say thank you.
I definitely think that everything that you're saying is very much needed, especially for the quote modern women today.
My children and my husband's lineage owes you their life. I take pleasure in serving my husband and my children where I didn't before. I
All
did it,
right.
I did
Right.
it, but I didn't do it with joy. And now it's like you've given me such a new purpose to my life. I'm on my husband's team, where before I thought like I had to, you know, run things and oversee him, but no, I'm on his team, and it's freed me so much. And so thank you so much, sir, for I call this the Black Renaissance. What you're doing,
Well,
it's
thank
kind
you
of
very much.
yes,
Thank you
sir.
very much. It helps to hear that. Appreciate it. I'm an image consultant. I'm an image consultant, and yes, I am a successful guy because I've tried many things and I've failed a lot. But as an image consultant, I deal in reality, outcomes. I don't deal in theory and what could happen. You notice that a lot on my show. I'm always talking about outcomes, reality. I don't deal in what could be or what should be. I don't deal in principled arguments. So in my world, things are very black and white, which makes gray, which is what you see me wear a lot of times. Black, white, but most of the time you see me in a gray pinstripe suit. He basically asked, Kev, can you go ahead and explain why guys continually simp for women and the dangers of simping? Okay, for people who don't know what simping is, it basically means being a fool for a woman, and putting her needs above yours to the detriment of yourself. Why guys do it? We do it because it's safe. We do it for a lot of reasons, but if you were born after 1970, you were raised in a world like I was, where equal rights amendment, women were independent, all these other things. And a lot of people were raised by single parent households, and women, we were taught to be nice guys, be respectful of one, open the door, all those things. You know, guys before knew how to do that stuff. They didn't have to be taught. They just learned it from their fathers and the family and the society and culture. Well, women taught their sons how to be men. So obviously you got a generation of softer men and conversely a generation of harder women.
Yeah, so I did have a dad growing up, yeah.
That sounds kind of shaky. Okay, at 22 years old, you're young, you don't know what you want to do, you need to work a lot. The main thing you need to do is work your ass off. I need you working 12 to 16 hour days. I need you coming home to shower, sleep, and shit. That's it. Shower, sleep, and shit. I need you dealing with women 5 to 7% of your week, period. And I need you to be doing that for the next 10 years. And then after that, you can decide what you want to do when you grow up. No offense. But you got to try a lot of things. In your 20s, I mean, how long have you watched me?
I've been watching you for about a month now.
Well, one of the things you probably should have noticed is I talk about doing a lot of stuff because I tried a lot of stuff in my 20s and I didn't stop. So moving out of your mother's house, the first thing you need to do is you need to go listen to this broadcast again, because I talked about some of the things that I did and some of the things that I know lots of other successful men have done. The group is important. You got to get around a bunch. You got to get around a lot of like-minded men that are going to push you. You don't need content friends. You don't need John Madden football friends. You need people who are going to law school, medical school, who are starting businesses, who are talking about investments. You need people who you're going to go over to their house and be like, shit. Or you see their car, you can be like, fuck. You see you can be like, damn. Those are the kind of people you need to be around.
Mm-hmm.
And then another part, the money you would spend in business management or whatever, that's where the coaching comes from, man. You gotta, there's a lot, but here's the thing, it all starts with money. You gotta get your earnings up. Earnings are the first part to start increasing your overall skills to become more valuable in the marketplace. Got it?
Men who take care of themselves make better impressions on everybody. Pro tip, when you're dealing with, when you're dealing with high quality women with some style or some class, they look at how you take care of yourself. This is why it's, when I talk about men burning candles around your house, place smelling good, people look at how we take care of ourselves and infer and say, if he takes care of himself that good, if I get on his team or if he likes me, that's how he's gonna take care of me. That's how it works. I had to light this one out. That's how it is at work. That's how it is in life. This is why if you actually take care of yourself, treat yourself well, it's one of the best investments you'll ever make, because instead of thinking about that's wasting money, no. What you're doing is you're pre-filtering the kind of people and the kind of experiences that you want the world to bring you. I know this sounds like some hokey pokey, metaphysical hoo-ha. It's like, yeah, man, that's a bunch of, The Secret. And I'm telling you, that's not what it is, man. It's been scientifically proven and shown, man. Men who wear clothes that are pressed get better results than men who are wearing clothes that are not pressed or wrinkled. Men whose shoes that are shiny get better results than men whose shoes aren't shined or dusty. Men whose fingernails are nicely clipped and manicured get better results than guys whose hands are not or dirty.
Yeah, that's where I would start out. Are you on any other sites or anything like that, or is that the only site you're on?
That's the only site that I'm
So
on.
outside of this guy, what is your roster look like?
I'm dating a couple of other guys. Two others are physicians as well. There's one, he's a CEO of like a small startup, because that's like the culture in the
Yep,
Bay Area.
I get it.
Everybody is a
Mhm.
startup person. And then I'm talking to a few other engineers, but that's what it's looking like so
Do all these
far.
guys want to get married?
It's just kind of the talking phase. I don't know. I haven't asked them yet.
Why is that not in the first conversation?
Well, because the common
I
dating,
don't give a shit about
the
that.
okay,
You said you want to get
yeah,
married,
okay,
right?
I
Then
do.
let's not play.
Yeah.
Look, Eric is your
Okay.
name. Men who want to get married know they want to
Yes.
get married and go looking for a wife. When a man knows he wants to get married, he goes looking for a wife. If I would ever decide to get married again, I could get married in under a year, because I'd go looking for a wife. And if a man is not
Mhm.
wanting to talk about marriage on the first conversation, as a general concept, I, as a woman, would not be wasting my time if I knew I wanted to be married. This is why image consultant, matchmaker, all the other kind of stuff, because here's the thing. Sound like a nice woman, but you don't need to be out here in charge of this yourself. You've named guys and titles and everything else, but I've probably offered you more clarity in 5 minutes than you probably had in 5 months,
Yes. Yep.
because it's about getting to the net of it. Radiologist, CEO, da 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 da. If none of these men want to get married, it's just talk.
Hey, how
Hello,
you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, so I'm the one who asked about you being married, and I wasn't trying to be condescending when I
But
said
why
that.
is
So,
that important?
this is just me and my train of thought. The people who give advice, like you wouldn't want to be physically trained by a fat person, for example. So I just asked the question and just was wondering. But
So
I was
so
trying to
you
be
mean
condescending.
so you mean that a person who's married would give better advice?
Well, I think a person who was in a marriage where the wife was submitting, or if she was a submissive wife, would give good advice. I'm not saying that,
Hold on. How about, but he would give good advice for his wife.
right,
That's one person.
right, but at
See,
least you have.
the problem with what you're saying, ma'am, is if
Mhm.
people only spoke about what they were actually doing at that time, no one could speak about anything. Because
No,
hold on, listen, because that
Mhm.
train never stops. Because what you're saying is, well, you should be married, and then your wife should be submitting, and then she should be submitting, and you should be working, paying all the bills, and then you should be black, and she should be black, and you should be from Texas, and you should have 3 kids, and you should be Christian. It never stops. See, instead, why don't you just judge the information instead of doing what we typically do in the black community and go ad hominem at the person? What was wrong? No, listen.
Okay.
Because if you knew me, you know I've been married. I've been over 3 singles ministries at 3 different churches, and I know what I'm talking about. But
Okay.
you put a test on there that makes no difference. I could be married, but if I was 2 + 2 is 4, whether I'm married or not. When you leave your mama's house and go to school, that's the first time a lot of guys were around boys. Then our boy tendencies started to pop up and manifest themselves, you know. So especially if you were like me, an only child, it was just me and my mom and around her sisters. Oh my God, it's a wonder I didn't turn out to be gay. And so I've heard a lot of people say that, but I don't, you know, that's a subject for a whole nother time. And you know, look, I'm conservative on some things, I'm liberal on some things, but I really, really do believe in men should be able to be men. And when we're out, and when you're in high school, you have your friends. When you go to college, that's the first time a lot of guys get a chance to really be themselves. You join fraternities, you go party, no parents around, nobody to supervise. Guess when a lot of people had their most success in relationships with women? Why? Because you're around other guys, you're out in a group. When men are broke, we pal around, we have clubs and stuff. But look what happens after college. We all get domesticated. We leave college, we go to work in a company. Automatically, you're not around groups of men anymore, even your fraternity brothers, even your boys. You move to a city. You go work in a company that has a culture that is very much like our society. Then you get involved in a relationship. All of a sudden, you got a bunch of men walking around like neutered zombies. We remember, it's like caged lions. That's a better thing. If you look back and look in the zoo, there's nothing worse than to see a lion that's in a cage and they feed him. If that lion was born in captivity, that's one thing. But a lion that roamed on the prairie, on the Serengeti, that's a whole nother thing. Guys, we all have that lion in us. But we have all been programmed and taught that being a nice guy is the way to be. That's why we end up simping. Simping is a symptom of programming. So when I was telling the stories yesterday about how I would go from, you know, doing what a guy should do to being this nice guy and end up getting abused and mistreated by women, that was an internal conflict going on in me of me trying to basically fight against my programming. Another thing though is even after a guy knows better, we go back to simping because it's safe. We know how to simp. That's it. We just know how. It's no different than why don't people go work out at the gym? Why don't people eat better? Why don't people, you know, dress better? It's not a matter of knowledge. Arguably, we're the most knowledgeable society that's ever existed. We have access to information like no time before in human history. It's not a matter of information. It's a matter of, if I change, I'll have to do something that I'm not familiar with. And I'm familiar with being a simp. I'm familiar with being a nice guy. I'm familiar with doing the things that people want me to do to be acceptable. And I know what I get. Now, here's a twist. We get comfortable with it. It's kind of like, think about all the sayings we have in our world. You know, if you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. Be content. Keep the car you have, and you know, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. All of these things are little subliminal cues to keep us stuck and content. So as a man, when you hear another man telling you, look, women like sex, women like men, women like confident, intelligent, assertive men, and they want men to act in a certain way that's counter to what we've been told, it goes against everything we know, and it goes against us being safe. That's why you get guys saying, I'm not going to do that because I'm afraid a woman will slap me in the face. I'm afraid she'll throw a drink in my face.
But Kevin, I always hear that men get scared if a woman brings something like that up it like turns them off. And
you hear a lot of stuff. But what did I say? It should be in your profile. Look,
okay,
it only scares men off that don't want to get married.
Got it.
So
Okay.
let's play it your way. Do you think by not asking the question and not scaring him off, that's going to make him want to marry you later on down the line? If he doesn't want to get married up front? No.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and here's
You're
the thing. This is where a lot of you. This is why women you're looking for an arrangement. Let's just cut to the chase. Let me be honest with you. Get over this notion of you want to find your soulmate and you want to be in love. You're looking for an arrangement. You're looking to find a provider male who's making high 5 figures in the Bay Area, because after you get pregnant, you don't want to work another day in your life. The more you say what it is, the more you know what it is you need to do. Those men exist in that area. So you don't need to be dealing with all the other men, only the men that fit that profile and that want what you want. When a man wants to get married, especially a man like that, men like my clients, they're not trying to fall in love. They're trying to say, okay, you meet these stats. Why do they go to matchmakers and pay the fee? To get a pre-verified pool of women to choose from and to see who they could actually make an arrangement with and then move forward. The love and all that comes later on. Arranged marriages work, especially at this level. So,
yep.
And at 29, you don't have time to waste. You should have been married. If this is what you wanted, honestly, you should have been married 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So you got to start
That's right.
acting with a sense of urgency and start dealing with men in that area. And lastly, you don't need to be in charge of this process 100% yourself. Image consultant, matchmakers, those kind of people who can help focus you. Because if you're just out there, you're just a kite.
You ever sit in somebody's car that just got it nice and detailed? I mean, nice and detailed. It just smells, it seems like the air conditioner is colder when your car is freshly washed, right? It seems like everything is, I hate it. It seems like everything is better. So think about you jumping your boy's car and it's freshly detailed. You ain't trying to eat in the front seat. You ain't trying to drink nothing in the front seat. You sitting up a little bit more straight because you respect that. You like, man, this brother just spent some money in here. I'm gonna take care of it. Okay, let me hit you where it really hurts. Go into a bathroom in a restaurant. That's when you go into a 5-star restaurant. It's one of the best restaurants in the city. You go in the bathroom and the bathroom looks like a nightclub. Piss all on the urinals, got that urine smell coming out of it. Your automatic perception of the restaurant's gonna go poof. But if you have just an average looking restaurant and you go into the bathroom and it's clean, I mean, it smells like your mama cleaned it. Ain't nothing in there. Toilet paper, the toilet roll, I mean, it just looks immaculate. You know, the shitter wraps are sitting on the wall, the toilet paper's right. You go to the urinal, how many times you'd have gone to the urinal and drip something on the toilet or the floor and you got a napkin or something to wipe that shit up yourself because the bathroom was that clean? Tell me you ain't done that. It's human nature. It's how we are. When we see something that's well taken care of that can normally go either way, we treat it better. You know you do. You know you do. That bathroom thing, you know for sure it happens that way. Guys, stop treating yourself like a nightclub bathroom. Start treating yourself like you're a high-end bathroom. I know women who have been all the way to the left who have gotten their stuff going and have corrected themselves. Like I say, if women in my family can get it straight, anybody else. But I will tell you what the women have said. They stopped trying to argue the obvious. Meaning, the obvious. Let's start with the visual. You gotta stop arguing against reality. Men are visual, and a man wants a visually appealing mate. Men ain't 50 years old, 40 years old out here trying to have a 30-woman rotation. Most, especially successful men, we got too much shit to do to be trying to run. I mean, I will tell you this. A lot of guys are like millionaires. I would never get married. I'm going to tell you something. The more successful you get, the more money you make, the less time you have. You don't have time to have all these harems you think you're going to have. Yeah, you may have a little fun, but that's done. Look, man. So give men what they want. Be visually appealing. Hip to waist ratio. Flats. Get your stomach flat. Get toned. And you really need to change your diet. And you know, I know women that weigh their food out. I mean, what kind of man do you want? Well, whatever it is, you have to stop arguing with a reality. Fitness and being visually appealing, you're not going to change that. You got to get that done. Also, please take off those wigs. I'd rather you be hair that long than those wigs. I've seen some women that actually got a bald head who look better than they do in those wigs. Those things are from hell. Because I'm going to tell you, when it's hot outside, all guys thinking about is, damn, under there smells like Thriller. Let your hair do what it does. Learn how to do your makeup to accentuate your features, not cover them or mask them. The weight, the visually appealing portion, dress simply and dress simply. Get out of Fashion Nova and put on a dress, a skirt, put on some heels, some things like that.
Can I talk to you without being on YouTube?
Yeah, that's fine. I just had to at least see who you were. So how old are you?
Hi. 34.
All right. So what did I get wrong?
I really appreciate what you're doing here. I do. But I want you to know that some of these women call in here really broken and you go too hard on them. You do, and you go hard on them in front of everybody.
First of all, ma'am, if they don't want to call in, they can book a private session.
Not everybody.
I do exactly what I do, and I'm not going to change.
I know, but not everybody.
I'm not going to change. I am not going to change. And I how dare you try to tell me what to fix when I have results to show what I do works. What do you do?
Say less. Have a good day.
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do?
I don't do nothing. I don't do nothing.
Exactly. I'm just saying. See, that's the point. See, conflict avoidant. You can't push back with these women. See, I was supposed to just say you're right. And what did they do, gentlemen? What did you do? What did you just see? What did we just see? What did we just see? Conflict avoidant, ghosting. What did we just see, folks? What did we just see? You say your side, I say no, I'm going to do what I'm doing. I have a track record of this and that. What are you basing your expert opinion on, or whatever? And what did she do? Conflict avoidant, ghosting. Say less, say less. You can't make this shit up.
You couldn't make this stuff up.
All we're asking for is cooperation. That's it.
Yes.
Did you happen to get married?
Yes, yes, I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And one more thing I just want to say to you, my children and my husband's lineage owes you their life.
Huh?
Because although I was going on the right way, I still had some of those really nasty characteristics I was raised in. And listening to your videos over these last few weeks has even changed me. And I'm a woman that, that loves to serve and cook and clean and do all those things, but I still saw some of my mother's evil spirit in me. And
Mm-hmm.
listening to your videos has, oh my gosh, it's just improved our household so much. I take pleasure in serving my husband and my children where I didn't before. I
All
did it,
right.
I did
Right.
it, but I didn't do it with joy. And now it's like you've given me such a new purpose to my life. I'm on my husband's team, where before I thought like I had to, run things and oversee him, but no, I'm on his team, and it's freed me so much. And so thank you so much, sir, for for I call this the Black Renaissance. What you're doing.
Well,
It's
thank
kind
you
of
very much.
yes,
Thank you
sir.
very much. It helps to hear that. Appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir.
Send me a Christmas card. Bye
Yes.
bye.
Thank you.
All right. So these things are things that guys need to know. I would have liked to have known this stuff as a younger man. But there is a point in time where information is good, but you got to keep on moving. The late great Patrice O'Neal was probably one of the best. He was ahead of his time, but he had a girlfriend. I always direct guys like who in uh this nebulous, frustrated portion. I say, just look at all the guys you follow. Donovan Sharp, my dog, girlfriend, living girlfriend. Coach Red Pill, married. Every Red Pill guy I know or a content creator has a woman. See, what I do not do well from guys, I have no room for lazy men, and I have no room for cowards. And personally, I hate to be afraid of anything. I would rather go fail and learn better. See, a lot of guys think they can insulate themselves. Naima, truth, a lot of guys think that they can insulate themselves from ever having any problems in life by Google. Like, I'll just take a bunch of red pills and therefore I'll never have any problems in life because I know this, I know that, and I know female nature, I know this, I know that. Let me be honest with you. Have you seen the lips on, have you seen that woman's mouth? Aoka, 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 Aoka. Have you seen those? Let me tell you, young guys, something. For every man, there is that woman out there to where when you see her, all that shit that you talking goes right out the window. Your creator made you that way. All that knowledge goes. Shout out to the great BGS. He says the average red pill dude is some good loving away from being a purple pill or a blue pill simp. Nothing inoculates you against Aoka like that outside of your own personal experience. I don't care how many books you read, how many videos you watch, who you got saved on playlists, or who you got stored. When you run across some shit like that and does it for you, bruh, listen to your godfather. I'm not trying to steer you wrong. Mankind has no vaccine against that. Whatever it is for you, everybody has their thing. My ex-wife, she had like about 6 or 7 of my things. But there was nothing I could do to defend against that. Nothing. She had a drop step fadeaway shot. You couldn't defend against it. It was just cold. She had a crossover. And that's the thing. You're going to get crossed. Everybody you watch has gotten crossed up. That's why we know so much. But we don't get crossed over and over again. And this is what this information, it just lets you know. This person got a mean crossover. This person got a mean fadeaway. But you still got to get in the game. You can't be in the sidelines talking about, man, I would never get crossed up like that. Of course not. You're in aisle 16 getting popcorn. But being in aisle 16 getting popcorn doesn't keep you safe. Because you're not getting any better. There is a cap on impractical knowledge. At some point, you got to get in the game.
And I will say this too, to the men. Here's my challenge to the men, especially if you're one of the men that falls in this category. You guys need to stop being quiet. I know you have jobs. I know we have the cancel culture. But of the thousands of responses, women think that it's a minority of men because they're not hearing it. And unfortunately, we all have something to do in this regard. It's not just for content creators or these people. It's for average, everyday folks to start telling the truth. Here's over the holiday. When you go back home to your family, say what you really think and stop telling women what you believe they want to hear just to keep the peace. If you want a different outcome.
I just want to actually say thank you. I actually started listening to you about a month ago, and I've realized all the lies that we have been told as women, and I have recently been doing work and humbling myself and getting myself in shape. I've lost 15 pounds in the month of December. I ordered a Peloton, and I'm just working on being humble and just getting my feminine energy back. So I just wanted to say thank you.
I think a woman should be submissive, but just by the definition of submissive, men have to give women something to submit to. So
hold on. Are you married?
I was married for 8 years before I filed divorce.
Are you Christian?
I am.
Okay. Still a Christian?
To the day I die.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then this is going to hurt. Men is not supposed to give you something to submit to. You're supposed to submit to God.
First.
No, that's who you see. I'm a Christian and I've been over 3 singles ministries. Black women have some of the most strange interpretations of the Bible. That's
that's not that we to our husband.
Ma'am, you're not submitting to me. You're submitting to, first off, who are you when you're in marriage? Who are you making the agreement with?
You're making the agreement with God and with your husband.
The covenant is with God, though.
Correct.
So you're submitting to what in the man?
You said, what are you submitting to his mission? Submission.
No, you're submitting to the God in the man.
Okay.
So that's what you're ultimately submitting to, because man by nature is flawed. You don't submit to failed flesh. You submit to the spirit of the man, God in the man. See, what you're saying is if you actually were a Christian woman, you would be following God and submitting to the God in your man.
You're going to follow God if you're a Christian.
Well, then if that's the case, you said he has to give you something to submit to, and that's ultimately what you're submitting to.
That's a given, but
No, it's not. No, it's not. You're saying he has to give you something to submit to. That's ultimately what you're submitting to. Look at YouTube. YouTube is a great example. I am a professional menswear stylist, but I have a tremendous amount of information to give to guys. I have to think about the content I put out there, because I can put some stuff out there that YouTube doesn't deem appropriate or friendly. I don't cuss a lot. I don't use a bunch of negative words, but even the concepts I'm talking about, they don't want me talking about this right now. Guys that talk about this kind of stuff end up having their channels demonetized, their views skewed off, their channels just aren't as popular. Why is that? Now, women who talk about women's stuff and women's empowerment, those channels get millions of views and subscribers. But guys that have the nerve to talk about, guy, put yourself first, empower yourself, be a man, take charge of your own life, be confident, intelligent, assertive, be learned. All that stuff, you would think that would be a good thing. No. It's challenging to the system. The system we were raised. I was raised in that simp system. So I could go on and on and on and tell you story after story after story. But let me just say this. Because we are guys, let's just throw some numbers up here. Not to brag about anything, but in By the time a guy reaches his mid-30s is when he really starts to understand what it means to be a man. By the time you reach 40, you really become a completely different person. You become a whole man. You know how to get stuff done. You know who you are. You're self-actualized. So in your teens and 20s, a lot of guys, we're about getting laid and making money. And it's easier to get laid to make money, so we keep score by stuff. You know, I went through that phase to where, you know, we had competitions to see who could score the most with women. And, you know, when you start getting up, when you start having numbers in the triple digits, you know, on one side, I was taught to be proud of that, but on another side, I felt kind of ashamed. I was like, that's disgusting. But then I thought about it, I'm like, well, wait a minute. That's nothing to be ashamed of. I just live life. No one told me to be ashamed of it. It was the way I was raised and programmed by the world. You got to be a nice guy. You got to do the right thing. You got to put everybody's needs ahead of your own. Every single relationship I've had, and I haven't had a lot. I've had a lot of women. Trust me, I've had a lot of women. I got some stories that I simply will not tell on YouTube. I've lived a broad life. I've done I don't have a bucket list. Let's just put it that way. You know, I don't do none of that homo stuff though. You know, if that's what you do, that's what you do, but I don't do that.
I would, when questioned about dealing with black women's problems, she said, I would teach my sons to stand in it with her. Random black women. This is what black men have been told, to stand in it with you. Here's the funny thing. That woman wanted a 6-figure man off the rip. I said, why don't you get an average man? Why don't you get a Henry, a high earner, not richer? Why don't you build with somebody? Nope, she wanted microwave ready to go. So you don't want to build with a man, but yet we're supposed to stand in your mess with you. How ironic. This is why I say, you ladies may not like what I'm saying, but 82% of men are sitting back, high-fiving. Mm-hmm. Everywhere I go around this country, men are thanking me.
I agree with like 98% of what you say. Your delivery is a bit, but how I can't shoot the messenger. However it gets
But
told,
we do. We do.
It is what
we
it
don't.
is.
But if I was a black woman, it would be just fine.
A
black woman can say what she wants to a black man.
No, that's not true.
I
Really?
think that there is this. I think that
Really?
there's
So
this-
so are you honestly saying that if the roles are reversed, a black woman would have gotten the firestorm of backlash that I had?
Absolutely not.
No.
No, Kevin, no.
So we got to start being honest. We're used to one-way aggression with men, and it's like, well, what do you want the men to do? And this is what the men are getting, conflicting messages.
I think that there's this unfortunate, like you said, many women
Let me
are
bring up some more people.
Many women are raised, you know, with this thought that men are supposed to have this unnatural level of restraint, and that they're supposed to have this, you know, this unnatural barrier that stops them from acting out of control. Meanwhile, as women, we could act out of control. Even when it comes to physical assault, there are plenty of men that are physically being abused, but they're taught not to accept the abuse, while the women, as soon as you get that response that you were actually looking for, now we have a Me Too campaign, or now we have these other different campaigns and cancel cultures against that man who may have been taking abuse from this woman. So I definitely think that there is this, especially in the African American community, I think that there is this unspoken thing where we train our men and we train our sons to have this unnatural level of restraint. Meanwhile, we don't do the same with women.
Women are just tired of, you know, the bullshit, and
Who's
they're
bullshit?
coming together.
Okay,
men's.
hold on. Okay, 51% divorce rate in this country. You know that,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
In the black community, 8 out of 10 divorces are filed by women. 80% of listen to what I'm saying. You about to speak before you even say anything. Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
51% divorce rate. In the black community, it's higher. But in our community, 8 out of 10 divorces, breaking up of families, broken homes, are initiated, filed by women. If even half of that number is for cheating, adultery, the worst parts in the Bible, that still means there's half, 4 out of 10, that are not. In short, ma'am, men don't leave relationships. Women leave relationships, Black, white, Hispanic, or other. The cheating numbers for men and women are in line. They don't vary by but a few percentage points. You guys tell a horrible victim story that just does not line up with the facts.
I hear you. Yeah.
And you've been allowed to, and here's the thing, ma'am, at 24, you've been allowed to live this lie because this lie has been told and perpetuated in popular media for the last 40 years.
Right. And that's why I appreciate you, because I'm like, this is what I need to hear, I'm happy. I'm enjoying it.
All right. Well, I'm just saying there's always another side of it. Okay. Appreciate it. I mean, ladies, you're not victims. But back when I was going through my marriage was falling apart and everything, I hated my job. Dude, I woke up at 6:17 every morning like Groundhog Day. And every morning I would wake up and immediately my stomach would clench into a knot. I was stressed. I was miserable. I actually later that year started suffering panic attacks. I have a cut in my eyebrow right here. See if I can get up on it. I don't know if you guys can see that. Right there. That cut in my eyebrow, I was actually at a friend's house and had gone through suffering panic attacks. And I went from, all I remember is I was standing there talking to my buddy, and the next thing I know, I was eating a cookie. The next thing I know, you ever hit your head so hard, like a football hit? I went from being 6'4", and all I remember is my head bouncing off the fucking linoleum. I missed the corner of the kitchen island by that much. I landed, I split my shit open right here, and it was just gushing. I had a concussion. Panic attacks, concussion. I went to the emergency room twice, thinking I was having a heart attack. It was panic attacks. Black women have an earned reputation of being tough. Collections department, customer service. You want to end up getting things handled in a certain way. People weaponize that fire you have. And that's fine, but you're weaponizing it for some company's gain. How is it benefiting us as men for you to weaponize that against us? Especially if I don't know you.
Right.
You should be walking around with fire for me.
Right.
Well, I really just wanted to thank you because I've been listening to you for a while, and I feel like I really learned a lot about a man's perspective that I really didn't understand before.
Mm.
My parents were married, but my father passed away when I was in 9th grade. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, appreciate it.
Just like we submit to God, we also submitted to Christ in the flesh, right? So that's who he was. He was a fleshly representation of God.
Hold on.
So,
You submitted to Christ in the no. I think you're conflating some things. But ultimately, ma'am, you said that if a woman needs to submit, a man needs to give her something to submit to. Like what?
correct. I think that's
like what?
Well, have a plan for your life, first
See,
of all.
again. Now you just went earthly.
How?
That God does not talk about a plan. Okay.
Said,
hold on, ma'am. Hold on. Hold on. No, you're not going to talk over me. Hold on. What was Eve's charge?
To be his helpmate.
Exactly. That's it. She didn't have to submit to his plan or whatever. She was there to help. That's your role. Hold on, ma'am. That's your role. A woman's purpose on the planet is a man, and without a man, you are living uncovered. So I'm sorry, ma'am. You want to keep talking about a woman should have something to submit to. You're supposed to be submitting to the God in the man, not a purpose, not a plan, not anything else. Or else, if that's the case, you shouldn't have married him in the first place.
But God has a purpose. God has a purpose
And
here.
and who? Okay, you're right. He has a purpose. And who does God speak that purpose to? Does He speak it to you, or does He speak it to the head?
He speaks it to the head.
Then exactly. So you're supposed to follow the head.
I'm supposed to help him. I agree.
So you don't need to know the purpose. He does.
Okay,
Adam did not have to share that with Eve. All he had to do was know which way to go.
Evicted, car repossessed, divorced. The world was falling apart. Good man, good husband, good father, good stepfather. Shit's fucked. My pet bird that I raised from a hatchling, he's a parrot, an eclectus parrot, got him the same month my daughter was born. They grew up together. He was at my ex's place because I had to move from there. Bird loved her kid. She killed him. Killed him through neglect. Bird got an infection because she wouldn't change the cage, and he was sitting there standing in feces-filled water. It's a $1,700 parrot. Bird had a 400-word vocabulary. He meant everything to me. He meant the world to me. Trained parrot. Couldn't even keep. All that shit that's going on at one time. Lost my job. Started a new job. Lost that one because I was not in the mind space. But one thing did happen in this whole thing is I moved from the city to North Dallas. And one thing they used to lament is, for as much of a believer as I am, I had not heard the voice of God in 10 plus years. Out there, Dallas was having a Super Bowl that year. It iced over. And I remember looking out of my apartment that I got by the grace of God, because shit was fucked. No car, none of this stuff. All I had was my furniture, and I'm looking out the window over this frozen landscape. And for the first time in over a decade, I actually heard the voice of God again. It was almost like I needed to be there. And a lot of people aren't very spiritual. And I don't talk about spirituality much on this channel, but all that shit happened. My best female friend from college, was a virgin when she was at college. She told me she ended up there were a lot of fucked up shit going on. What I do remember this time in life is, as down as I was, people were opening themselves up to me. I got in the elevator and said, hey, how you doing today, to some woman, and she just broke down and started telling me her entire story. I ran into so many people. It's like almost on a daily basis. People were like open wounds and telling me stuff so much that I was like, why are people, these complete strangers, telling me their life story in the convenience store over cupcakes? And my shit is fucked up. All this stuff fell apart. And do you know, in 12 months, it was restored plus. I went from here to there, not having a car to buying my BMW cash because I had the money plus. A lot of people would have given up, wanted to die. I know I did not understand what was happening, but I knew I needed to fight. I had every reason to be angry, and I was. I had every reason to be sad, and I was. I had every reason. No one would have faulted me. Couldn't eat. Just fucked up. So many things fell apart at one time. No one would have faulted me. But I did. I wanted better. I said, you know what? You're on your back. The only place to look is up. So I'm not just on this YouTube shit just pumping your head full of stuff. I'm telling you, your life can change in a year. The lowest point in your life is a good thing. That means you only have up to go. But if you look at the thumbnail I used, it was a man reaching up. You gotta do something. When you are doing something, people will help you. At the lowest point in my life, friends around were okay with helping because they knew that I was doing something. I was fighting, I was moving forward, I was doing something. I had to cobble this together, cobble that together, this part-time job, this setback, this ahead. No, it wasn't pretty. But I didn't only survive it, I thrived through it. Why can't you? No, wrong question. Why won't you? Damn, I went through some shit, man. It's life. It's life. And I haven't even done the video talking about how I survived cancer. I'm not going to do a live stream on that. It's too emotional. But the point is, you guys come on the YouTube channels like, who is this pretty motherfucker? Look at this dude. Oh, it's easy for you. You're this, you're that. You got this going and you got that going. Dude, you see the end result. Scars are there to remind you the past was real, but that's just it, the past. Your past is your past. It is meant for you to learn the lesson, not meant for you to stick in it. I implore you as a man, no one is going to feel sorry for you. No one is going, you gotta get out there. Something happened back in the day. The person that did that to you back in the day have gone on. You can't be a prisoner to that. And even if you are, no one is going to accept it for a viable solution.
Well, I recently was introduced to your channel by a friend, and I definitely think that everything that you're saying is very much needed, especially for the quote modern women today. These are things that I was taught by my grandmother. And it's quite funny actually to see some women react negatively to what I think is just common sense. But yeah, I appreciate the message, and yeah, I'm a fan.
Guys, the world doesn't want us to be straight up because it is not, the world frowns upon masculinity. The point of it is ultimately simping, putting women ahead of your needs, putting anybody ahead of your needs is a bad way for any person to live. Every relationship I had where I actually suspended good, simple thought, and I decided to go ahead and put woman on a pedestal, treat her like a princess, all these other things, you know what ended up happening? I was happy for about a month because she told me all the things I wanted to hear. You're like no other guy I've ever had before. You're so different. You're so this. You're so that. Then after that, after the new car smell wore off, that woman began to resent me. She had contempt for me. No respect for me, because when a woman knows that you will take whatever she does and let her get away with it, she had no respect for you. Simple as that. You out there being a sucker. So, and we're told, be upfront, open, honest with women. Tell her your feelings. No, I'm telling you, hold stuff back from women. Don't tell them everything. Do not tell a woman that, you know what, whatever you do, I love your dirty draws, and you could do whatever, and I'll take you back. No. First-hand experience, that doesn't work.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I am well. What do you got for me?
Well, I think women are unhappy overall. And I think it's because we're trained and we're raised up to be selfish. And so we always think that the opportunities will be there. And once we reach a certain age, those opportunities dry up.
And I think it creates a lot of resentment and hostility within us.
I'm not gonna lie. I've had many sessions this last couple of weeks with women, and doing the mirror exercises, the selfishness in the Western woman it's incredible.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I'm selfish.
But it's not malicious. It's not malicious selfishness.
Right.
Most women are selfish and don't even realize it's selfish because no one says that's kind of selfish.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, they're gonna think I planted you here, but
Can I get a rating though?
I'm not doing that right now. I'm doing that on Tuesday. I mean on Monday when I come back. Come back on Monday.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
As a woman, and you asked the question earlier, why are Black women, I guess the word was scarred to the point to where we don't want, well, some of us don't want to submit. Well, it's what we have tried to submit to up until this point, and we've submitted to abuse.
Hold on. No. I'm not gonna let you do that on my channel. No, because on my channel we talk about facts. You're gonna talk about abuse. I'm sorry. The facts, the data, statistics are in. You ladies talk about abuse like it's running rampant, and I'm sorry, the numbers just don't support.
I'm not talking about only physical abuse. I'm talking about.
Well, you want to talk this stuff about mental abuse? I'm sorry, we can go the other way, ma'am. But how about this, man? You're a Christian woman. You filed for divorce. Why?
I filed for divorce 15 years ago when I didn't have a complete understanding of marriage.
Why?
I saved. In that instance, he couldn't keep a job.
Why? Okay. Do you have any children?
One by him.
Right. So he wouldn't keep a job, meaning that once y'all got married, he quit working, or he kept losing jobs.
He wouldn't lose them. He would just leave and go to other jobs that he thought would be better, but they turned out.
Okay.
In 10 years, we were.
All right. And then where'd you go out? Okay. So hold on. And so after you divorced him, where'd the child go?
He's with me.
All right. And did he have to pay child support?
Nope, I did not file.
All right. So where does the child have a relationship with his father?
Not a strong one, but yes, they
speak. All right. So and is your ex homeless?
I don't know. I
don't. All right. All right. So, woo. See, here's the thing. I listen to a lot of women, and I will tell you, as after sitting in ministry after ministry after ministry, I will tell you one thing. One thing I've noticed about most of our women, you pick poorly, and then you're shocked with the outcome.
At 24, most of us pick poorly.
I'm sorry, ma'am. But where's your father?
My father's in California.
And where's your mother?
In Georgia.
All right. Why was your father not there to help you pick a husband?
My father was an alcoholic.
Why was your father your father?
Because my mother chose him.
Exactly. Pick poorly and then blame the product.
So what does that have to do with me?
Well, I said women pick poorly and blame the product. And you said at 24, I didn't have anybody to help me. And I said, where's your father?
Right.
Hold on. This is what it has to do with you because you picked poorly. If you had a father worth a damn, he could have helped you. But your mother picked poorly. And it sounds like you, hold on, ma'am. And it sounds like you picked poorly. I'm not judging you. Hold on. I'm not judging you.
If you're born after 1970, you have to unlearn what you've been taught. And especially if you're raised in the United States. If you're raised in the Black community in particular, and if you have a single parent household, a Black woman raising you, yeah, you've been taught this. I am woman, hear me roar, strong, independent, blah, blah, blah. All that crap's in our head. Women don't like that. Now, why can a man walk around with a man bag, smelling good, looking good, and the women who love men know I'm a man, the gay guys know I'm not gay, because that's a hold up a lot of times. I mean, I dress, that's a lot of reason guys dress the way they do now. It's like a show of manhood. If I can be sloppy, sagging, all this other kind of stuff, I can overtly show my masculinity. No, dude, no. Because if your mindset is still feminized, simpish, you're going to still end up simping behind a big booty apple bottom. You can be a simp and a sag all at the same time. You could be simping in a fitted or a snapback. You could be simping in Timberlands. You could be simping in an Armani suit. Simp is a point. Is a mindset.
Why haven't you remarried then?
Actually, to be honest with you, I enjoy being single.
I bet you do.
I do. I enjoy being single.
You better enjoy it, because I don't think anybody else will want to put up with this. Because see, the energy you're coming at this thing, ma'am. Look,
I have suitors, but I enjoy.
You can have
being
ladies. You can have suitors all you want to, but that shit runs out after about 50. You can have suitors all you want to. Bottom line is this: you came in and said, "Well, why isn't Kevin not married?" Kevin has been married. Kevin knows what he's talking about. That's why people come to my show. People don't come here because I don't know what I'm talking about. But what it does show is that, ma'am, you don't seem to understand what I'm talking about or what this means, because you're by yourself. You have a son?
I do.
Oh my God. So, well, what do you think the prospects are going to be like for him?
As far as the women that he chooses?
Sure.
I think the prospects are going to be very good.
Really?
Because I do.
Okay,
honestly.
okay. So how old is he?
He's 10.
10. So I did a show last night asking if competitive, successful, or high value Black men should marry out. And to the woman on the panel last night, Black mothers of Black sons were saying, yeah, because the young ladies today are pretty bad off. You think the prospects are good for your son right now with broken family after broken family? Because to bring us up to speed, your mother married a man who had a problem with alcohol. You married, and that was a broken family, and she had to raise you by herself. You married a man.
Well, she got remarried after my father.
Okay.
But okay.
All right. Well, still, you married a man who couldn't keep a job and have another broken family. So this will be the second or third generation. And you're raising a boy without a male role model and a dominant mother. Dominant mothers tend to make weak boys.
Well, he's not weak. He's very assertive.
Okay. You're right. Okay. Where's this, and the male influence is where?
Throughout my church, mentorship programs. It's not like there's no male influence, like there's no testosterone around him and he's just dripping estrogen.
Yeah, the Black men have left the church in mass, ma'am.
Right,
So,
haven't left mentorship program.
okay, all right. So I would tell you this. From what I'm hearing from his mother, you sound very domineering.
No, I just sound like I know what I'm talking about.
No, you can say that. You can sound just, yeah, you do. You're right. I don't know what I'm talking about. You sound just like.
No, I didn't
You're right.
say that.
You're right, ma'am. And the thing is, I got no dog in this fight, but I would tell you, you sound just like, the energy is coming across just like Lonnie Love, just like many women who women who have poor relationship outcomes with men.
But you're so combative, and you don't.
I'm not combative, man. I'm not combative. I'm just direct, and that's one thing women like you can't deal with. You're used to being in the driver's seat, and I won't allow you to drive. I'm driving this. That's not combative, ma'am.
Street, but it seems to be one way.
No, there's a right way. So, I hope the best for that young man.
Yeah, it will be a pleasure when the day comes that I'm not right, because that means women will start to change. I will gladly take being wrong, verifiably wrong, because that means women will start to change. And when women start to change and make adjustments, that means they're going to be better for the men. Mission freaking accomplished. If you think you want to say, ha, 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 we proved it wrong. We found 10,000 women that are fit, feminine friendly, cooperative, submissive, and they did X, Y, and Z, and they got husbands despite that. And the men are like, yeah, they're everything I want. Final broadcast, mother suckers. God damn it. Mission accomplished.